Welcome everybody. We're live from Da Nang, and I am joined once again today with Mandy from Melbourne. How's it going, Mandy?
Hello. So I was just waiting for Etienne to continue, but so yeah, hello everyone. um, it's cold in Melbourne today. You know, winter is autumn is slowly approaching. We still have a whole month of summer supposedly in February, but yeah, I think the sun is joining you guys in America over at Europe as well. I know many of you have
Yeah,
complained on Twitter how cold it is.
it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. No worries. So today we have a special topic we wanted to cover, something that I think is kind of lacking. I didn't see many videos about the topic. I think it's something that people don't talk about for some reason. And like we've said it multiple times in the past, if you want to make it to trading full time, you need to treat this as a business. Like that's a requirement, and there's no other way. So if you want to do this as a business, there's only one way to do it, and that's going to be actually like there's many ways to do it, but the best way is going to be to have a plan. What we would call kind of a business plan. And Mandy, I believe, is the expert on the topic. She knows like all there is to know about the topic of of trading business plan. So she's gonna share kind of her lesson and things she learned and what to do, what not to do. So I just want to start with Mandy. What a business plan first of all for trading?
Well, a business plan, you know, it seems to be such a dirty word, and I
Yeah,
know
people love
because
it. People hate the word. I know.
yeah, they do, right? But then if we maybe reframe it and say it in a different way, we say it like it's laying out the path, the journey to your dreams, right? To full-time forex trading. Then it changes everything, right? And even you, Etienne, you went on your journey, right? Traveling through the world, and you already know the steps of where you're going to be roughly. So you know when you're going to be in Hong Kong, Singapore, where in Asia at what time, and you had to plan for that, right? Because you had to book the flights, and it's the
Yeah,
same with
yeah,
with your trading business. You want to have an idea of where you want to be when. So. Um, Trading business plan used to be a really dirty word for me, but I see how much it contributes to to our traders. And every trader that I start working with, I say, "Do you have a trading business plan?" And they make a funny face, like, "No." And I can see they think, "Oh God, I hope she's not going to ask me to write one up." And then when I send them the plan, the layout of the plan, they love it. Like every single trader says, "Oh my God, I'm so glad because I never knew that I needed to do all those steps, and I have so much clarity now, and I feel so much more confident and certain because I know what my journey is. I know what I'm going to do." And so many traders that talk about lack of confidence, lack of discipline, lack of certainty, and they can't deal with it. Well, the trading business plan is the answer, and we will talk a little about how that is how to write one.
yeah. We got
From New
people from New
Zealand,
Zealand.
hello.
Welcome, Aman. What's up? Welcome, Naga from Montreal. Awesome. Naga, the first to be
Hello,
here.
Naga.
Always, I love it. Perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like what's going to be very, very tough for people in terms of trading plan, it's kind of putting everything together. Like if you think that you have to create a whole trading plan by yourself, it's like a long process, and you don't really know what to put, what not to put. Is it too much? Is it too little? Do I have enough of like 30 page, or is it too much? Or like what should I do? So a lot of people feel that, and that's why I think it's good to have a template or some sort of framework. So perhaps do you see like one thing as being the most important in a plan, or one topic people like have to cover absolutely?
hmm So with a trading plan, Etienne, I hate structure. I'm really bad at it, and you always have to remind me of being organized, and and I really appreciate that because it is my weakness and it's your strength. So we play with each other's weaknesses and strengths. But what I've learned is there's a certain type of being organized in my mind that really helps me. So number one, I need to know and learn about myself. Yeah? So know thyself, as Plato, the famous philosopher, already said, right? It's at the foundation of any success. Number two, I need to learn about the markets. Then number three, I need to learn about the trading methodologies like Gann, Elliott wave, harmonics, chart patterns, candles, right? Number four, I need to know and learn about the indicators. How do indicators work? When do they perform best? Which instruments do they perform best? So the Bollinger Band doesn't work and perform the same on the Aussie dollar as it does on the DAX, right? So you need to learn in what context do they work best. So, and then you need to know what resources you need to have in order to set yourself up for success, not being constantly confronted with failure. One reason what I see with many traders is why they lack certainty and discipline and never make it is a lack of finances, right? That's the reality. And we have to talk about that. So it's not about trying to create wealth with trading. It's hard. Yes, it can be done, especially in crypto. It's been done in the past few months, but I think the happy times are over in crypto. It will be much harder there as well, and it will kind of get as hard as in normal trading. But you need to also work towards a solid financial situation so that you can make better decisions in trading. And there has been many research has been a lot of research done on how people make decisions under financial pressure, and it's not good financial decision making. And that is what trading essentially is: financial decision making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest parts, I think, for me was to kind of take a look at the numbers and go over like the finance part. I think it's something that we tend not to do because like it's easy to say I'll trade and I'll be able to make a full-time living, but there's kind of a gap that between the wanting to do it and achieving it. So, but
Yeah.
when you really put down the numbers on a plan, you understand what's happening. It gives a kind of a better perspective, and you can at least do something. If you don't have the finance or whatever issue you need to work on, you can do something. Unlike if you just think about, well, I'm here, I want to do this. It's not like a full picture. So what should people do? Like, should they have, because a lot of people are wondering kind of what should they plan in finance? What should they have as their money, because as money saved and everything. So is there kind of a rule or a basic structure for that?
Well, let me share my screen. By the way, if you guys wonder why I'm wearing a hat as well, because I keep having bad hair days and I'm constantly fiddling with my hair to get it underneath my headset. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I make my life easy? I'm wearing my hat as well because I love my hat.
See,
And Etienne
perfect
has a cool
solution
hat.
all the time. Yeah.
Exactly. So we are going to be known as the
And
Duke
yeah,
with the
by the
hats.
way, cool. So while Mendy's gonna share a screen, just comment in the chat if you're watching us live. I would appreciate, and comment below if you're watching the replay. If you have any questions, you answer the question because that's always more interactive and people like it better. Usually, it's better for you and for I. So comment below in the chat and let us know where you're from. If you just want to chat or exchange ideas, that's fine too. And we'll make sure that we.
All
Cool.
right. So
So
Etienne, being in Vietnam, I think you're fading in and out.
possible.
But it should be fine. And that's like trading, right? You just deal with it. The market fades in and out, so we make the best out of it. So here's the components that we thought about, or out of my own experience of my own trading journey. Because looking back at what would it have taken in order to learn, because my learning was so erratic. It was all over the place. And I was like, oh, shiny thing here, oh, shiny thing there. I was like going back and forth with what I felt like doing rather than doing what needed to be done. And I see that in a lot of traders, Etienne. They just do what feels good. And
Yeah.
if they would do what needs to be done, then they would succeed in trading so much faster. So you can see these are all the areas that you need to work and progress on. And there's four major components or categories. And what I started doing is that every day I choose a different category. So Monday for me is is my practical day where I do a lot of paperwork. And by the way, I learned it from Steve Ward, you know. So because he's so good with structure. So I started doing the same. Monday is paperwork day. Then Tuesday is Monday day, where I learn on my work on my personal development. What is it that I need to learn? How do I have to progress? Who do I have to be that I'm not right now in trading? So a lot of introspection on myself and learning, progressing, growing in, you know, knowing myself. Then Wednesday is market day. I learn new things about markets, about how they, about the dynamics of the markets, about how the bond market interacts with the equity markets, how interest rates impacts the equity markets, the Forex markets, how monetary policy of a country impacts the foreign markets. So this is all about the market dynamics. You can also call it maybe fundamental analysis. But I found it's, even if you trade technical analysis, I found it immensely useful to at least have a little bit of an overview on that. So that's all about markets. What markets are out there? What markets work best for you as a trader? So you can see that all those categories are not necessarily standalone. They also interact and correlate to the other categories. Because I'm really bad at trading equities, really bad. I just can't make it work. So that's a market that I don't touch. And how do I know? Because I look at my statistics and I learned the hard way. um, so look at your trading tools. What is a new indicator today that I can learn? What is a new indicator that I can try out and backtest? Yeah, so it's all about progression, slow progression. And of course, brokers, you know, you need to know who is a good broker for you, what actually makes a good broker. And I know, Etienne, you have a nice video about how to choose the right broker. Anyone who has been
Yeah.
through MF Global and Sunray and brokers who went broke and lost people's money, they know how important it is to choose the right broker. Yeah. Then we have, which resources do you need? No one really thinks about that. What resources do you need in order to sustain full-time trading even when things don't go well? What's your plan B if things don't go well? What is your plan B should you get sick? Yesterday I wanted to go for a run and I got attacked by some insect. I don't know, I still don't know what it is, but it bit me. And oh my God, it hurt so bad. And thank God it bit me on my left arm and not on my right one, which, you know, I used to operate my trading and executing a trade with my left hand on my mouse. I'm not used to that, right? So, and it got me, like it was like far out. Actually, I didn't say far, I said something else. But what would have happened if it had bit me on my mouse hand, right? So if I wanted to, like, what do I do? And we need to be prepared for those eventualities. We need to have plan Bs. Yeah. So how to set yourself up for success. These are all the components of your trading business plan that Etienne and I are going to teach in the upcoming training as well. Do you have anything to add to that, Etienne? We spoke about it so much.
Yeah. Well, I really love it because this is like I can totally see myself back when I didn't want to make a plan a few years ago. And here's the thing, like, this is something that no one wants to do, like people don't want to necessarily do it. But it's so much setting up like everything for success, and it's like a surefire way to succeed if you plan everything properly. And even when things happen, at least you have a way to go back and to do something right. So even though it's not like funny to do and not interesting to do necessarily, it's really setting all things up for success over time. So I love it. But yeah, you have to be willing to do what's necessary to succeed full time.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is also, Etienne and I were thinking about it. Should we really do that? Because there will not be much interest in traders because you know how they say, tell the trader what they want and then give them what they need. But we didn't want to do that, right? We don't want to be covert. And we don't want to work with traders who don't want to do what needs to be done, right? We want to work with traders who are fully committed and just do their thing. It was really interesting because someone asked me to work to do coaching with someone around business who is not a trader. And I gave him a whole heap of homework to do before we have our first session. It was really interesting. I sent him the information like a week ago and still didn't get anything back. When I work with my traders, anyone who contacts me and I send them, which is a lot of work, right? A lot of assessments, they are all really excited. They're like, yeah, I'm going to get it to you in like 24 hours. And this is the kind of traders we want to work with. The ones who say, yep, don't really want to do it, but I know that it's an important stepping stone and I do what it takes. And it's kind of like athletes. I know from my friend who is a coach at the Australian Institute of Sports here that athletes don't like necessarily getting up at 4 in the morning or eating healthy. And I remember my ex-partner was a taekwondo fighter, and taekwondo, the selections for the World Championships was always the week after Easter. I mean, how cruel is that? So Easter, we had like big feasts and chocolates, and he would just be on steamed vegetables and water because he had to keep his weight limits. Now, that is what it takes to succeed. And no surprise, he's a great trader as well, because you practice discipline in all areas of your life and not just in one. So guys, if you're struggling at the moment and you want to shortcut your path to full-time Forex trading, you need to get some sort of a plan, okay? Really important.
Love the message
And
for
I'll
sure.
stop
Yeah,
sharing.
really powerful. And yeah, if you have any question about the plan, comment below. I think one of the best thing to do is to just go back, take a screenshot of that page we had, and try to work on like each area. Like there's 4 different areas. So I don't remember exactly what we had: trader, we had market, we had the resource, and there's another one.
Okay, so it's really easy, right? So if you look at your life, components, I love your example. Driving a car. So you need the driver, which is you, the trader.
Mm-hmm.
You need the car, the vehicle, which is your methodology and your indicators, and you need your roads, which is the market environment, and you need to set yourself up for success. You need to have fuel, you need to have your car serviced, you need to have a support team. When you look at Michael Schumacher, like Ferrari, they were like the fastest in changing the tires, I think. So you need to have a really good team around you as well. So set yourself up for success. So if you look at that in the context of trading, again, it's you, the trader. You need to know yourself, self-management. You need to understand the market environment. So what is the area that you drive in? You need to understand your car. You need to know how your car works. So that's the methodologies with the indicators, etc. And you need to set yourself up for success, like finances, a support team, your health, right? You need to be healthy. You need to know how to, you want to grow and learn. That's all part of the fourth one, the resources. So if you can't remember the words, it doesn't matter. Understand the principle. Yeah.
Exactly. Powerful.
Cool.
With an example, always better. So I think we're done with
And
the
that
trading
allows
plan
my
topic, the business trading plan topic. But if you guys have any questions, comment in the chat. We'll make sure to answer those questions as always. The next topic I want to talk about is I had 2 people reaching out this week. So one of them is a scalper. He was wondering kind of what reward to get he could expect to what reward to risk he could expect to get in the market. And I know, Mandy, you're a scalper. That's pretty much what you're doing at best. What would you say on that? What is the optimal reward to risk? Because one of the things we don't want to fall for is kind of trading, but not getting enough reward to risk to cover the spread. So I know the spread is going to be kind of a big factor in trading when you scalp. So how does that work?
Sorry, Etienne, you were fading out. What was the question?
Right. So what kind of reward to risk do you aim for when you scalp?
Okay, that's right. So I personally don't. I don't. I aim for my risk, but not for my reward. Scalping is very interactive, very active, and I read the market as the market develops, and I love that, and I thrive on that. I might have a big picture target but not something that I would necessarily attempt to hit. So what I do is I enter, let's say, on the 1 minute based on an entry, and I put my stop loss based on structure in the market, maybe a previous resistance, the high above the previous candle. Yeah, so I have a technical exit, and I combine my technical exit with a monetary exit. So of course I don't want to lose more than 2% of my account, and need to get my trade size in such a way that I still can cover the my exit, my technical exit. And then let's say I wanted to go straight into profit. If it doesn't go straight into profit, I'm being taken out straight away, right? And then I look how the trade develops. Does the next candle do a lower high, lower open, lower close? Yes, I stay in. Lower open, lower close? Yes, I stay in. Sideways? Yes, I stay in. And now my moving averages have started catching up. And then I can start saying, as long as my price stays below the moving average or below the Bindle Bollinger or below the trend line that I drew, I stay in the trade. So I'm very going with the flow. It's my nature, it's my personality, it's my behavioral preference. And I work to my strength. And someone else like Etienne, very different personality, it would drive him nuts. Like you
Yeah.
would hate trading the way I trade.
Exactly. For sure. And have you found some sort of kind of average reward to risk that you end up getting when doing that? Or I guess it's going to depend on like every pair, every market you trade. But
I didn't hear the question. Could you just repeat it,
have
please?
you found any kind of average reward to risk, that you end up getting on your winning trades?
No,
Okay.
it's really random.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't look at risk reward so much. I look really a lot on my behavior. And to be honest, when I started out, and I still have it sometimes, my losing trades bigger than my winning trades, right? So I know when I get back into that territory, I need to get my button to gear, because then my emotional capital is not up to scratch. My behavioral strategies need to be looked at. That is so much more important than risk reward. I really don't care about risk reward. I care about my risks. So I want to make sure that I don't slaughter my golden goose that lays golden eggs, like, you know, losing my bank account, which I have lost a few in my career. And I don't want to go back there, because it is so utterly destroying and unnecessary.
Yeah.
So again, other traders trade differently, and there is no right or wrong. There is what works for you. So if I have risk reward, doesn't worry me at all. But if my average losing trade gets close to reaching my average winning trade, then I know I need to do something, because that's not good behavior. Does it make sense?
Yeah. 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 And what kind of spread? Because I know people who trade on brokers that have quite a high spread, and they cannot make any money with that. It's impossible. If it's capped for like a few pips, like say it's 5 to 10 pip, and you have a 3 pip spread, you're not making much money. So should
Yeah,
you recommend
no.
people to kind of find a broker with a lower spread? Are there brokers for that, only scalping? And is that the best option, or
There is so much more to that. So there is one famous broker in Australia, which I will not name, and funny enough, they're quite big. Their execution is horrendous. They're really slow. And I would never scalp with them, because by the time I press the button and my order goes into the market, it's not working. But their spreads are quite tight. The broker that I work with, their spreads are average, right? They're just normal, not the best and not the worst, but the execution is super fast, and that's what I need for scalping. So I don't trade with products where the spread is wide. So I only trade, the euro, the Aussie, the pound, where the spreads are tight. If I trade any of the other products, then I trade them longer term, where the spread doesn't make that much of an impact. So I would maybe do a swing trade, because I subscribe to Tony Sycamore's report, for example, and when he has a longer term setup, because he's a swing trader, right? then I'm happy to do that, just following his stuff. But it's not my strength, and I would trade a smaller contract size and don't really care so much about the spread. But yeah, when it comes to scalping, it's the speed you get filled and the slippage that you have, and not only the spread. Yeah, so.
Because here's the other email I got. I think I sent a Facebook message. So the guy said he's been trading for a whole day. I think like 6 hours or so, like back and forth trading, placing trades and stuff. And at the end of the day, was looking at his like PNL and the commission he had to pay, like the spread. And he found out that pretty much I think it was paying 120 euros of spread and getting 100 euros of profit, which is like basically losing money for the whole day. But what he ended up doing was just like getting in a trade, exiting really quick with like a very tight profit, but that sometimes didn't even cover the spread overall. So
this
happens.
is weird.
If you have,
how did you calculate
yeah,
the
so
spread?
I don't know how he did it, but that's what he sent me. So what I think he did is that he had a bunch of like a very low win rate, let's say 50% or maybe 55%, and a very small winning trade. So when he won, he just won a little bit, and he lost more than that. So probably what happens.
And
Yeah.
see, I don't look at it in terms of risk reward. I look at the same thing in terms of average losing, average winning trade, which gives you a similar idea.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Love
Hello,
it.
Katsumi from
Cool.
Tokyo. We have Tokyo. Hi, Alejandro. Good to see you. Arthur, hello.
Oh shit. Okay. Sorry about that. Yes. So I was wondering because I was looking at the chat and nothing was loading since like a whole lot, like long time, and I did see those new comments. So I don't know what. It's probably my internet that's bad here, but yeah, I just saw a bunch of comments. So welcome everyone who joined us. And Martin again. Wonderful. Do you have any question to answer? Wait.
Yes,
Okay.
so we
Love
have.
this one from Naga. Why do traders need a team? Can traders just learn from institute and trade from themselves? That's a good one. Many you want to start with that? I'm sure. I'm sure you love the topic.
Well, I find it interesting, Naga. So everyone wants to trade on their own and they don't want to share their strategies. This is not my experience, I have to say.
Yeah.
Hello, Arthur
So
from sunny Sydney. Um, I don't know, like especially on Twitter, everyone is sharing really wholeheartedly. And I think I share my strategies, and I always say to Etienne, I have to be careful because I'm not licensed, and in Australia you need to be licensed. So that's why I'm careful with how I word my strategies, and I never give trading advice, right? But yeah, interesting that this is your
yeah,
experience.
and
Maybe. Mhm.
I might add to that. Even traders that I talk to that are not like online that are just trading for themselves or like they trade big funds. Even them are willing to share like what they do. They're willing to share their strategies or even their indicators sometimes, even if they're custom built. They don't really care because they know like everybody they're sharing an indicator with, they all use it differently in a different manner. They all
Yeah.
have like different rules, so it doesn't really matter at that point. Just share whatever you come up with, and that's the other aspect. Like when you teach or when you share with people, you get better yourself.
Yeah. And if there are people who don't want to share,
Yeah.
I totally ignore them. I don't want to hang out with them. It's like whatever. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's one thing where I would challenge you, Naga, on whom do you filter for? So you know that little story. I love the story where a man is riding into a new town on his horse, of course. And he sees someone in one of the first houses. He sees a man sitting in his garden. He says, "Hello, sir. I'm moving into this new town, and can you tell me what are the people here like?" And he says, "Well, what were the people like in the town that you came from?" And he says, "They were horrible people, really not nice. That's why I'm moving. Right? I want to move to a different town." And then he says, "I'm very sorry. So the man in the garden says, I'm very sorry, but you will find the same people here. So the guy keeps riding on his horse, really disappointed. Another guy rides into the town on his horse, and he says, hello, sir, when he sees the man in the garden. I'm going to move to this new town. What are the people like here? And he says, well, what were the people like in your old town? And he says, they were all super, super nice. I had so many friends. I'm really sad that I have to move, but I have to move for work. So, and then he says, well, the old man in the garden says, you will find the same people here. What this story means is that it's not the external world that determines what we experience. It's our internal world. And when we have the experience that people are a certain way, then I always challenge, and I know, Naga, you can take it. And I thank you for that question, because it is so, so important for each and everyone out here of us. That is an indication of what's going on in our internal world. Yeah. So where is it where you don't share? Where is it where you have trust issues? And that will show up in your trading. And I do the same with myself. You know that from our training, I always emphasize that I'm constantly monitoring and challenging myself. So when I walk down the road and I see someone, and I think in my mind something that's not nice, I know it's not about the other person, because whatever I say about other people is not about other people. It's all about me. That I'm not at peace with myself. I have been working immensely hard. Etienne keeps me busy. So I haven't been working out as much and running as much and exercising as much. And I don't feel good in my skin, right? I feel this is not the standard I want to have. So I find myself judging people out there who are chubby. And it's like, Mandy, you got to work on your own chubbiness, right? So I take that as feedback for myself where I'm out of balance in my own life. And maybe something for you as well, Naga. And you will see when you do that, your whole world will change, and you will start seeing people who are very generous and loving and open. I hope you saw that in us, Naga, as well, in Etienne and I, because that's the kind of people we aspire to be.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
Now,
What
do you
about
want to add
the?
something?
Yeah, no, I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with that. And there was the same question with the importance of a team. Why do traders need a team? I think it just makes things
Yeah.
easier.
So, mhm.
I think you can still succeed alone, but you won't succeed as much, and you won't have the same enjoyment as if you're with other people. That's my opinion. But
Yeah. We call people who go out there on their own, don't need anyone, we call them the lone wolves. And lone wolves only get so far until they realize they have to build a team. Now, why are people lone wolves? Most of the time, because they have been hurt, they have been taken advantage of, they have not felt safe growing up. I work with a lot of people who have been sexually abused. And it's something that needs to be also discussed, because I did not know until I started coaching the extent that is happening in the world. Not only girls, boys just the same. So of course they have trust issues, right? And they just want to work on their own and not they can't trust anyone. So the lone wolves, they need to learn to trust themselves and trust the world and heal their hearts. So that's part of the journey as well. I get emotional, sorry.
cool.
So why do we need a team? You can see that again, why doesn't Etienne does his thing and I do my thing? Really, because Etienne has strength that I don't have.
Yeah.
And I have
Yeah.
strengths that Etienne doesn't have. That's one reason, right? Together we are more. We are individual units, right? We run our own businesses. But as a team, we go to a different level. We create a new unit. And that's one thing. We can serve more people, more traders, because we both see the heartache that is in trading. We both see the bloodletting, the financial bloodletting that's out there. And we both have the goal to stop that and help traders to make money instead of losing money and losing their relationships and so on, right? So we can serve a broader amount of people. And as I said before, it's something simple things. So Etienne, he posts the link for Hangouts in YouTube channel. And then I
Okay.
say, let's start 10 minutes later so I can post them on Twitter. Etienne knows me well enough that I would have posted the Google Hangout link on Twitter. So he is like, don't post this one, post that one. And I had to laugh, and I thought, you know me already so well. And so he was making sure that I set myself up for success and not failure, because posting Hangout would have been a failure, right?
Exactly.
Would have confused everyone. And
Exactly.
that's another reason, because I can relax. I know that Etienne has my back, and Etienne knows that I have his back. And Etienne got attacked recently on YouTube, and I had his back. You know, I knew the answers to the questions that or to the accusations that went on, and I could set them straight, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a team
And
is good.
and here's the other thing. This is something I've seen multiple times. Like it happens over and over again, whether it's in trading or in business or whatever. You can either spend like 5 years trying to understand something and trying to learn, and then you come to the answer at some point, or you can just talk 5 minutes with someone and they're gonna tell you the answer. Or like you just talk and you talk about any topic and you hear the answer to the question you were looking for. So I think there's much more value in being with other people and talking with people, especially traders, because they know more sometimes on different topic you don't necessarily know about, but you get the answer much faster. So up to you. Either you spend 5 years reading books and being on your own, or you talk with other people and you get the answer in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
So
it's such a shortcut, and it has to be a
yeah.
give and take. It's not
Oh yeah,
this.
of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you can't
So
go there and like request people for the advice and request for them to give you the answer. That's not gonna work for sure.
yeah.
But you want to be there with like a giving mentality, of course.
And there are some people out there, and the challenge that we have is, we spoke about that as well, that we get a lot of questions. Like my Twitter DM is filling up,
Yeah.
my emails are filling up, my Facebook DM fills up. And I said, where does it stop? Because I'm sitting behind my computer 12 hours answering questions and not being paid for it. And to be honest, when I have the choice to go to the beach and take care of my health and happiness, or spend an hour answering people's questions on an email where the only person who sees the answer is them, I'm not willing to do that because it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it here in our live sessions because it serves so many people and it's fun. It's the team thing rather than sitting alone in my room behind my computer, wishing I were out on the beach with my friends. No way, Jose. There you go. That's why
So
team
emails are
is
tough.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. Emails are tough. But let's get to Nell's question about a struggle with discipline and entries. Do you have any advice?
Okay, so that is very, very broad. It's kind of
Yeah.
like saying my computer doesn't work. That's one thing. So I would suggest you the questions that I would pose is, in what particular circumstance do you struggle with discipline and entry? Um, what does discipline mean to you? How are your entries defined? Is it a problem that is your behavioral issue, or is it the problem that your trading strategy is not defined enough, or that your strategy is not suitable for the market? When are times that you don't struggle with discipline and entry? So, there's a lot of paths that we can and have to go down to identify what is really at the core of your problem, because discipline and entry, struggling with discipline and entry is just a symptom. It's just the outcome of something deeper lying. And again, the most beautiful example is computers. Whatever you type into Google, this is what you get, what comes back. And if you want to get better answers, you need to ask better questions. So it is hard to give you one advice because I don't have enough context, not enough information. But you want to start with, what are your critical moments? So Tom Dante has the Demon Finder, which I also use for my traders. You have to write down the 5 typical mistakes that you make in your trading. Every trader has just a few typical mistakes that they repeat over and over again. And then you tick. And if you have ticked the 5 mistakes and you have hit 10, you know what is your most common mistake. Now we can drill deeper and say, what is going on here? I would like to see statistics. I would like to see out of 100 trades, how many trades have you had this behavioral pattern? Else in your life do you show this behavioral pattern? Where else in your life you don't show this behavioral pattern? So can you see how many levels we have to look at?
Yeah.
Hey, look, Sung Park. How? Hello from Laos. I actually said to Etienne he has to
Great.
go to Laos because it's so beautiful. You have to send
Love
Etienne
it.
a message and tell him how the internet is there. Because I need
Maybe
him
in
on
the
the
plan.
internet as well.
Yeah. Maybe in the plan. Yeah. But to get back to discipline, I think comment from Katsumi, I think this is really, really powerful, and it's something that can really help if you want to be more disciplined, or if you want to do whatever you want to do, be more disciplined, be more consistent, be more articulate, whatever. Hang out with people who are that thing, like who are disciplined, who are consistent, who are articulate, and you're gonna end up getting the traits. So that's kind of a quick
Goes back
shortcut
to
as well.
team, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, goes back to the
Yeah.
previous topic. But yeah, I think that's what Katsumi was talking about. But
Yeah.
if not, that's a good shortcut. Love it.
Nice.
You crypto trading, Mandy. I think we said that a couple of times, but answer
Sorry,
is
what
no.
was that? Ah,
Are you crypto trading? Trading
ah,
cryptos?
no. It's just not my
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
And I know traders who are doing amazingly well at it, but they're also amazing traders. Like they know how to
Yeah.
trade the market. If you look at Nick Trades, right? She's an ex prop trader. She knows how to trade and how to read the markets. She does well at crypto. I leave that to them. No interest. It's not sparking me. Like I don't want to spend hours on it.
Yeah. But
Sorry.
you guys go watch the YouTube live I did with Jason Greystone a couple of days ago. I think that was last week, not past Friday, the Friday before. And what he was telling is that it's really interesting. So he's been looking at Bitcoin for some time, and he's seen like this big phase, this big jump. And what he thinks now is that Bitcoin's going to kind of readjust to a normal level and start to behave like a normal currency, like a normal pair. And if you want to take advantage of that, of course, you have to test things up. But it's a matter of like seeing that now it's going to maybe react more to support resistance, like it's going to react better, and you're going to see maybe more strategies working out on Bitcoin. So could be something to test out after all this craziness is done and after all the moves are happening and the crash are happening. Well, could be something to look at.
Yeah, I don't judge people who trade crypto. I judge people who use crypto as a multi-level marketing tool.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Alpha, I don't only trade Forex. I trade the DEX and Forex.
Yeah. And I only trade
Um,
Forex.
yeah.
Cool.
And why I trade them? I trade certain pairs. I don't touch gold. I trade those because my statistics tell me that I perform best in those. So it wasn't like I chose the market, it was the chart, the markets chose me. And that's what my statistics tell me. And that's what I find everywhere. Like I'm working with
Yeah.
a prop trader from New York at the moment, and I said to him, "You're in the wrong firm, dude." Like I do a lot of assessments, right? A really thorough psychometric assessment when I start working with a trader, and his personality and behavior profile both show that the markets the firm offers him to trade are setting him up for failure. Not just the market, also the time frame, also the style of trading, not working for him. So this poor guy has been struggling, and then I put him into a different market, and suddenly he's doing really well. And he thought there was something wrong with him, but there wasn't. He was a marathon runner in a sprinter's game. Doesn't work.
Yeah. Here's the thing with entries based on Nell's comment. So there's no best entry. And if you feel hesitant to enter a trade based on an entry, it's probably because you didn't test it. You don't have the stats to back it up. And you're unsure of what's going to happen. And that's definitely not the state you want to trade it. That's never going to work. So
Yeah.
you want to, like, if you have the data, there's no way for you not to feel confident and not to feel disciplined because you know what you should do. and based on what the data tells you, you know what decision to make. So that's kind of a shortcut as well to make things happen more fast.
Exactly. Hello, Jerome from Atlanta.
Yeah, bunch of people. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
if you guys have any
Um,
question, comment in the chat. And I don't know if
mm.
any you want to add something more to that or
Okay, Nell is talking about discipline in the sense I said um, in terms of the work schedule for myself. You know, when it comes to work, I don't believe in discipline. I believe in inspiration. That is one thing, right? Are you inspired enough? The second part I would look at is if you is that a behavioral thing? Do you like structure or do you hate structure? That is one reason why people often can't follow their plan or their work plan, right? Because they hate structure. They just want to do go with the flow. Then they have to learn that, right? Another reason, I'm just looking for your thing again. Another possibility here is that, where is it again? No, where are you? Discipline in the sense work schedule for myself. So yeah, we have. Is it inspiring you? Are you someone who loves schedules or hates schedules? Right. And what was the third part? I forgot. You love structure. Good. That's really good. So, and you love being on schedule. Fantastic. So it's how I see. Really good for trading. Really good for trading. So yes, maybe there's a question of inspiration
yeah.
that's missing for you in that context. It's hard to say. You know, like we really need to go down deep the rabbit hole sometimes to find out what is at the core. It could also something that you grew up with. You know.
Yeah. But here's the thing, because I also really love scheduling and structures and stuff, but I found to like I think I'm gonna shift over time from trying to schedule everything, trying to make like a compact schedule, like everything I want to get done, to kind of scheduling the day I want to have, which is like a day with some fun, with some trading, of course, with some business because I like it, but more toward fun, more towards something I like, towards something I want to do, like not task I have to do like all day, but things that I want to do, and that makes it much easier to stick to it after that.
Yeah. They're not lazy, Arthur. Don't be mean.
Yeah.
I don't believe in laziness either. Um,
Right.
again, I believe in inspiration. The other question, that was the third point that I wanted to make. I wonder, are you a perfectionist? Because when someone runs a perfectionist strategy, that usually feeds a procrastination strategy. And then the procrastination strategy feeds the procrastination strategy again. So yes, I am formally trained, Jerome. Thank you. You must be too, because otherwise you wouldn't know. So the strategy then start feeding each other, and that's where you stay stuck in the rut. So what we needed to look at is where does a so what we need to look at is which strategy feeds which. Is it a procrastination strategy feeding the perfectionist strategy or the other way around? And then look at what causes that, and then give you a new strategy on interacting with the world in a way where you achieve your success and you don't keep yourself safe, because usually that's some sort of safeguarding.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Love that. Some coffee, Archer. Always the answer. Coffee is
Yeah.
always the answer.
Yes, it is. I've
Yeah.
got tea today, and Etienne accused me of having beer at midday. So
Yeah. 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 Cool. Awesome. So I
good.
don't know why I
It's
can
10
pause
past
it here.
1. I'm going to meet a
Yeah.
trader by the beach for lunch at 2 o'clock. So we have to start
Exactly. Sounds
winding
good.
up.
Regarding the question of brokers, something I've seen. So I have this FAQ page in which I answer that question. I'm not affiliated with any broker. I just like it's just gonna be easier to see it there and stuff. But and there's a lot of other questions answered there, so that's gonna be easier.
Yeah,
Cool.
and progress is also very country specific.
Yeah.
So
Also, yeah.
I have access to brokers that Etienne or US guys can't trade with because of America giving the restrictions, right? Japan. So my broker Pepperstone, they used to have a really big Japanese market, and then Australia, ASIC shut them down. They said, no, you can't be in Japan for, I don't know, some sort of licensing reasons. So that's also another factor to consider.
Yeah. Cool. I think we'll conclude it here, guys. It's been a lot of good questions, and I appreciate you coming here. Give a
Thank
like if you
you.
enjoyed the video today. And we also have the Academy if you want to make sure you shortcut the learning curve and go through trainings from Mendy and I. Check out the link below. There's also, I think, a coupon code for $20 off on the monthly subscription and something similar to that. So check it out, and we'll catch you guys next week. Any last word, Mandy, to
Thank,
conclude the event?
thank you,
I'll let
everyone.
you finish that.
We thought, oh my God, no one's going to join us for this training because it's boring, but we're amazed about your interaction. So thank you, guys. Happy trading. See you next week.